Hello there, this is going to be another zodiac specific reading. I just started recording and gave some misinformation and thought, what in the world? I still don't know whose reading this is. There it is. Who are you? Taurus. Very interesting. Taurus, cultivate. It's the number 2 card in this deck. During the pre-shuffle, I got a few messages. I got restraint, holding back, overthinking, stress, nerves, past life influences. I'm clearing my space and energy for this, and Wheel of the Year. So where I'm at in the Northern Hemisphere, we are just about to get to the solar new year when the sun crosses into Aries on March 20th, just before the eclipses, which is where the error came in the previous recording. So let me try this again for you folks. So for Taurus, this is a really incredible energy. So even though the initial lunar eclipse, that full moon lunar eclipse, happens in early Aries, just after the sun moves into that sign, it's at 5 degrees and 7 minutes of Aries, and that puts the moon at 5 degrees 7 minutes over in Libra, and so it's self and other. And then we have the solar eclipse happening on April 8th at about 19 degrees 24 minutes of Aries. So being Taurus, you may have different placements in the sign of Aries as well. But Aries is about using our leadership and autonomy and our inner passions and leadership potential to make some new beginnings in our lives. So with Taurus, cultivate, that is then taking that energy and channeling it into building, whether we're building relationships, building abundance from the earth, building something physically, literally, or building relationships. Cultivation is the key word used for Taurus here. One thing I will say is Taurus has a unique opportunity. I think it happens only every 84 years that Jupiter and Uranus meet in the sign of Taurus. They meet up in general, I think, every 41 years or something. And the number 41 came out a couple times in the Daily Dharma today, interestingly, and I didn't pick that up when it came out, but I'm hearing it and seeing it now. I believe it's the, is it the Synergy card? I think so. But the way that we work with others here is important. So as Jupiter and Uranus come together, that's the expansion point of our inner revolution, that radical reinvention of self. And it's so many other things. But let's see what the cards want to tell us. With that Wheel of the Year and the restraint, holding back, stress, nerves, there can be some huge new beginnings that you're facing, things that you're building into your life, into your lifestyle, into your relationships, new ways of being with Uranus. And it's been there for what, 5 years now or so? And I feel that this is a point for us to reveal what's being built behind the scenes, to bring it out into the open. We're getting mature, masculine. But yeah, it can be something that has taken a long time, that you've been cultivating for some time, longer than one season. With Wheel of the Year, it's like seasons that continue, things that return. So with Taurus, if you're a solar sun sign Taurus, then this can represent a time when your sun is returning to the place where it was at when you were born, known as generally your birthday, but sometimes it can happen on a different date. Stealth tactics and games under the deck. So somebody's maturing here and maturing the way that they use their energy. Stealth tactics and game. I need freedom showing up with planet Uranus and the signs of Aries, Sagittarius, and Aquarius here. Fire and air energy. And the rebel. So we were talking about having some Aries placements. So maybe you need some new inspiration to enable your capacity to breathe new life into your projects, to really help yourself to cross the finish line. You might need some new influences, something about education, new growth potential. We're getting intensity does not equal intimacy. So this may be somebody growing with a partner, or maybe it's your own inner masculine that has, with on the wings of Uranian influences, that intense responsiveness. Uranus is, well, sometimes Pluto, but Uranus is very often that ripping off the bandage that takes your breath away. It's that liberating energy that is so intense. And it's getting Taurus out of our comfort zone by and large. Let's see what else is coming out. Self-sabotage, self-fulfilling prophecy, negative mindset. So yeah, some new inspiration to create more security through freedom. So the issues of codependency have come up quite a bit for the various signs, especially where we're moving into the age of Aquarius finally this year. There's old cycles that are maturing, a lot of inner growth happening where, sorry to shift around, where we're actually moving away from delays and able to tap into that Aries energy here, moving into the month of your birthday or into the eclipse portal here to help us to build. We've got root chakra and Mars 3333 coming out, and someone with dark features, eyes, hair, or complexion. Initials A, B, C, or D might be someone or something that you're dealing with, and also Q, R, S, or T is under that. And then we have retreat, fear, aversion, rejection, pride, ego, abandonment, neglect. So I don't know if you're feeling rejected or rejecting. It says that you're needing some freedom or they're needing some freedom. And again, with today's Daily Dharma, might be something that you'll be interested in catching. There was the first two cards that came out on the board were Soul Time and Divine Masculine. And the way that came out was the need for the masculine to retreat and to reassess how they are going to be able to reach for their goals, new strategy, new preparation levels, something that we didn't necessarily see coming, but it ultimately came down that this was almost our cosmic inheritance coming in, our value and our esteem needing time and space to encounter those levels of self. So the freedom creates intimacy. Into me I see. So either this mature masculine is assisting with this, or somebody that you're taking yourself out of the intensity of the engagement. And for some, this could even be a very intense chemistry in a relationship. And there's an assessing of the way that the individuals are using their Mars energy. So Mars energy can be very delightful for chemistry, but it can also lend itself to disagreements, to self-focused, self-motivation. It's very self-directed, focused, active, and influencing, engaging, and Taurus is the sign of Venus. So however your Mars is either challenged or sparked into action here, especially by virtue of the individual that we're talking about here or the situation we're talking about here, there's a need for you to take time and space so that you can heal whatever is coming up here that's bringing up some negative ideas. Perhaps you're overworked, stressed out, overthinking nerves that came out, and you've been holding back from intimacy for out of a need to really ground your energies. There's a lot of very active energies, conflict, all types of stress and drama that comes out with Mars sometimes, that if not channeled appropriately into something either physical or some type of mental dialogue that's inspirational, if it's not channeled into passion or movement or even sexuality in some type of a way, into something procreative, co-creative, or spontaneous and creative co-creation here, then Mars energy kind of starts to spar against its partner and against its internal complexes. And so that begins to create all this overthinking, the nerves, which then brings in negativity, which then the other individual feels that and taps into that and starts perpetuating exactly that Mars energy that's been projected. So we're sabotaging our urge for greater intimacy when we're pushing away and retreating. It's almost like that, like the twin flame dilemma, where there's that runner chaser coming together, pushing apart. That can be romanticized, but let's face it, romanticizing the connection does little to help. It only makes us feel more us against them, me versus we. So let's see. 4 of Acorns, comfort and community with this pleasantly plump walrus here. Long in the tooth. What does that mean? Does that mean somebody who's sassy, or somebody who's intelligent, or somebody who's I don't know, dreaming about teeth? I don't know why that's coming up. And I'm splitting it with Knight of Acorns, action and drive here. So yeah, I feel like with the 3333, this is a reset that's coming in so that Taurus can use their Mars energy to create momentum, action, and drive in their life. To be able to build with that Mars energy is going to take that level of self-mastery where we overcome negativity, because with 3s, that is the Empress. So the energy that we put into the cauldron of creation, the womb of our cultivating sensibilities, whether it's aggressive or loving, it's going to generate in our life. We're able to recognize our manifestations right away. So take your time for freedom so that you don't develop resentments, is kind of how that's coming in. Let's see what wants to come out here. Queen of Crystals, comfort and prosperity with the porcupine. Protecting your own resources and your own intellectual property even. Yeah, freedom. Mature masculine and the feminine sign here. And this may this may also be the intensity coming from the integration of masculine and feminine influences in your own life. I know that one's been coming up for myself. It's seeming that the masculine is irritating me, but on the deeper level, it's actually my own masculine forces that are needing to be utilized in a new way, more productive, more forward and direct instead of beating around the bush, more expressive than repressive. So this may be coming out for yourself as well. Popping out of the deck, we have the 14 Temperance, balance and harmony. You may be quite unique with the zebra card coming out here, but it's our ability to be different and stay comfortable in our own skin, to walk through adversity or different viewpoints or different approaches with our partner or masculine, feminine in general. We generally, stereotypically, will approach things from different vantage points. The masculine is known for being overly logical and the feminine for being overly emotional. But being that we all have these things, we can become overly emotional with those closest to us and then over intellectualize the spontaneity of the arising intense emotional fluctuation and begin to project that upon each other and to work out our power plays with each other accidentally. So balancing that, I believe, is an internal integration of duality with this black and white zebra. And you're going to need to do that in your own unique ways. Then we have this black and white penguin, interestingly. 9 of Shells, gratitude and fulfillment. You've got quite a lot to show for yourself. It's almost like, I think that perhaps some, whether it's the penguin or not, I'm not sure, but some fish and other animal kingdom males will create quite the beautiful display, and they'll gather all kinds of beautiful shells and things and create an artistic thing to attract their mate. And I'm kind of seeing that here. It's like there's a lot of gratitude and fulfillment. There's a lot of dream come true energies that are coming in for you, but with opportunity comes responsibility and commitment. And so even in that space, that's where that self-sabotage can sometimes rear its ugly head, so to speak. 5 of Acorns, challenge and growth. I have definitely felt that recently. Look at that. It could be a yawn, but to me it's like the sign of back off. It's like the agitation of the angle of the neck. It's like you may be holding stress in your neck, but these challenges are preparing you for growth, to surpass your so-called urge to fight and to be in the attitude of gratitude and to surpass resentment in that state. You're going to need to recognize what you need freedom from. It's not necessarily the individual or the place, although for some it will be, but needing freedom from a mindset, and from the negative mindset here is going to rebalance your chemistry. My dog's over there groaning at me, telling me I've been online too long. But there's a lot of growth happening here. So if you do need to establish some firmer boundaries with another individual or take your time off, do so before you become provoked, because it seems like what you really are craving is this gratitude, balance, and the ability to restore and replenish your energies before coming back in here. But taking the time and space for repair of your energies is key. And what did I say about being unique? There's that beautiful plumage of the peacock energy showing up with the Judgment card called Awakening in this deck. Renewal and enlightenment. I knew that was coming out here. So taking the time away from a situation helps you to reinvent your own energies and approaches and to come back healed and repaired. And in this enlightening energy, lightning, I heard, in this enlightening energy, you're going to feel lighter and freer. It's about the energetic weight more than the need for distance. It's as though you just need to have some isolation time, whether that's your self-care routine, time with friends, time in nature, something to enable yourself to release the stress and the worry and the anxiety before you get triggered into projecting them into places and onto people it doesn't belong, and them as well. So allow them their freedom too. There's that what is it? I cannot remember. One of the greats talks about, is it Khalil Gibran? I cannot say it without even looking at it, but you get me. That guy talks about that there must be space and separateness within our togetherness, as the strings on an instrument need space in order to, when they are strummed, to create their own unique resonance. And in that, when they have their space, each one strumming together comes out with that harmony, the balanced harmony of having the space to explore your own vibrational resonances, and then to bring that back together infuses the relationship or situation with more fresh air. We've talked about that. So yeah, there may be a distance in a relationship. The wounded masculine here shown coming back to the cave, and it almost looks as though she's possibly giving him a hard time, but her stance in this shows that she wants to welcome him back. I see her with a bit of an allure, a provocative stance, and him almost with that chagrin, and it's as though he's come back from the war. He had some private wars to fight. He's got his wounds bandaged, his clothing is tattered. Hers isn't the best either. So this time and space and distance has not been easy on either individual. And here on the back, we have the Six of Cups, which is sometimes a soulmate reunion, reconciliation, but I'm seeing the disapproving father figure up on the porch. And since I know this deck, I'll show you the other side. It's the a couple things. It's as though they're old friends or brand new companions that feel that soul resonance, but you can see they're from different elements. He's on the earth, she's in the water. Temperance is fire here, the sign of Sagittarius, which shows up in I Need Freedom. So I don't know if the masculine is potentially a fire sign and the feminine a water. It doesn't need to be. But there's some type of feeling of hiding something away or doing something privately and feeling the judgment of society, or maybe one person has an interfering family member or interfering job or parent of the children in a blended family, the biological parent butting into the situation. It could be any number of things here, but there's some kind of outer influencer here under the cloak of night. And maybe that is somebody that's putting thoughts in somebody's ear about, well, you've got to get that freedom, but irrelevant. Let them go, let them do. And we've got the Eight of Wands here, the card of communication. And here we've got that beautiful Pegasus energy coming through, but the lightning is striking. So there's been some harsh words, perhaps some distance, and like this is almost like the neighbors overhearing the fight or something. It doesn't have to be, because there's all these flowers in the foreground. And the light's on. We'll leave the light on. Yeah, like she's left the light on for the return. But yeah, whatever difficult transition here, this negative mindset, it's like with that Pegasus, it's like spirit coming in to assist these enlightening, renewing, awakening comments into the context where people can, even though it's been harsh, even though the delivery wasn't necessarily gentle, it was intense, the messages, whether internal or external, have really torn the blindfold off and shown us where we need to shift something within the environment in order for our blessings to grow. Because look at how disappointed this individual has become with this tree. It appears to be not doing the best. There's a skull behind the tree. It's like somebody who desperately wants to come back and be welcomed home, but there's some type of an interfering individual. This could even be the children, somebody in the household, and there's a distance and a separation, and somebody has been forced to retreat to grow up, perhaps, and so that all parties are able to experience both freedom and intimacy, connectivity, passionate exchange, self-mastery, and grounded feeling, security within this space. So let's do a couple more. Yep, here's the heartbreak, being left out in the cold and the rain, feeling like not sure which way to go, feeling almost hypnotized and led by factors and influences that have led us to act out of our highest character, those old triggers. And if this is some type of twin flame environment situation, that can often bring out the worst in us to shake loose what doesn't belong so that we can face down these complexities of shadow and psychological navigational skills so that we can be more available for our service work down the road. And ultimately, look at that card there too. That's the reunion, sometimes the marriage card, showing them walking through the is it a bower, an archway with grapes. It's very fertile, it's celebratory, it's re-entrance into the garden of Venus with that sun and solar beautiful energy coming back in. So let's see, Knight of Wands. Wow, that's kind of too many, I want to say, but let's go with it. Three of Pentacles under the deck. Collaboration, building, cultivation of something that matters for ourselves. Eight of Pentacles and Knight of Wands are both showing face up. So that's going after, pursuing what we want, pursuing our passionate self, and working hard at something. And I feel that's our ability to mature, because the Knight of Wands gets that reputation of being in and out, in and out. It's a Sagittarian card as well. So there's a lot of Sagittarian influences in the situation. Right now, I think we've just got Pallas Athene over there, which is our ability to strategize and to be brilliant in the moment, out of mind-blowing, out of mind. Anyways, it's the maturing process of tempering our Martian energy and our fighting potential, transmuting that into balance and harmony, using those energies in a better way. So, all right, the cards that are popping out, we have Zero, the Fool, beautiful, new start, new beginning, but also taking space. Could be just an outing, taking a little picnic, or being willing and able to take a journey to charge back into somebody's life, perhaps, or to move homes, moving home, moving back home. There's something about taking time out, but it's almost like don't go too far away. If what you want is back home, don't let your negative mindset tell you that there's nothing there for you. You will know it if there is, because with self-sabotage and self-fulfilling prophecy on the board, what we believe is going to influence us. So do you believe in what is possible? Six of Pentacles, getting what we deserve with this new start. Two of Cups, beautiful. Getting what we deserve in love and romance, union, partnership, harmony. There's the Four of Wands, one extra time. Coming back together, reconnecting, reconvening, recommitting. Four of Cups talks about previous disappointments, disillusionment, and withholding emotionally. So where the Four of Pentacles is withholding financially, this is emotionally, and maybe that intensity felt unsafe and there was a lot of distance created and cultivated. 10 of Wands, there's been a lot of struggle and adversity here to be overcome, but then we end here with that grouping with the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles is kind of weighing our options, doing that pros and cons, and being able to determine what we really want and what we deserve, and bringing it back in and being able to rebalance all the factors so that it's a win-win and not a lose-lose, where everybody gets what they deserve and there's not a lot of negative projecting, but the ability to transmute those energies into something higher that we can actually build our firm foundation on. So you're destined for greatness on the wings of love. You needn't worry. Our video's almost over. It's not as if you need anyone. What you give will come back. Yeah, so you're about to perhaps be surprised. Maybe somebody is building up their seashell treasure trove to impress you and entice you back to have this new beginning together. So I think that is a good place to end. We'll get you one Art of War to close us out. Check back for other messages. We cannot enter into alliances until we're acquainted with the designs of our neighbors. So to take in the objectives and the goals of our partners can be divine, to allow both individuals to have a say. The general who advances without coveting fame and retreats without fearing disgrace, whose only thought is to protect his country and to do good service for his sovereign, is the jewel of the kingdom. So make it worth your time, and that growth process is bringing us into our service heart. And take care of yourself. Check back for other messages if you'd like. Take care.